Now at 4 suspected arson here in Zionsville, what authorities believe led to the fire.
And as we head into the weekend, showers and storms are popping up on radar. What you can expect this evening and into your weekend.
A stolen icon back where he's supposed to be. The mix-up that nearly landed Mr. Bindo at the center of a theft investigation. Can't wait to tell you more about that. Good afternoon. Welcome to 13 News at 4 on this Friday. I'm Dustin Grove.
And I'm Felicia Lawrence. We appreciate you watching 13 News at 4. We're going to get to those headlines in a sec, but we have this disturbing study that parents really need to know about.
Researchers found more than half of social media child safety features simply don't work. We're talking about TikTok, Instagram, Snap, and YouTube, all the big ones. Coming up, we're going to hear a response from the companies and tell parents what you can do to keep your children safe. That's ahead. But we want to start here at 4 o'clock with that developing story from Zionsville. An overnight fire caused more than $150,000 in damage to a well-known building on Main Street.
So we've learned the FBI is now joining this investigation. Brandon Schaff is live from the scene this afternoon with what we've learned so far. Brandon, why is the FBI involved now?
Felicia, Dustin, good afternoon to you here in Zionsville. This is Pine Street that we're on, right by Main Street. It's a very busy day here in downtown Zionsville. And this building right behind me, it's a vacant building, but that's exactly why FBI is now investigating this. And authorities believe that the fire overnight was intentionally set. An apparent targeted attack on a house in the heart of Zionsville. Town officials believe a suspect set an Israeli flag on fire early Friday morning, which was displayed on this vacant building. The fire spread from there, causing more than $150,000 in damage.
This is an attack on every one of us in this community, and we need to take it seriously. We need to do all we can to get to the bottom of it. And with these guys working, we will.
No one was injured from the fire. Zionsville fire investigators eliminated any accidental or electrical causes, leading them to believe it was intentionally set. Burn patterns and surveillance video also supported that it was likely caused by arson. Zionsville police say this is an isolated incident that does not define their town. There are no suspects yet, but they're asking for help to find one.
It's very likely that there's someone out there who does know something about this, and if they do, we hope that they will share it with us.
The Jewish Community Relations Council says this incident causes fear that this may happen again. They praised first responders for acting quickly to find out what happened and whoever is responsible.
It's an act of intimidation that should not be tolerated by anybody in our community, and folks should not be targeted for hate or discrimination simply because of their viewpoints or political perspectives.
This building used to be Kogan Antiques and Lighting, but has been unoccupied since the owner passed away. Down the street, Robert Goodman Jewelers has been there for 26 years. The owner says the Zionsville he knows welcomes everyone.
That building is an iconic building on Main Street. Everybody knows that building. So it's without question for the community going to be an emotional, I would think it's going to be an emotional loss.
Zionsville police say that this is an isolated incident that does not define their town. There are no suspects yet, but they're asking for help to find one. And the mayor says that this is a house that had that Israeli flag on the outside of it for the last few years, and now they will be investigating why it was set on fire overnight, and they're asking that anybody that has any information that can help them catch a suspect to reach out to Zionsville Police detectives, and you can find that phone number on our website, WTHR.com. We'll send it back to you.
All right, Brandon, thank you so much reporting there.
Certainly disturbing. Now to another story we have been following all day from northern Indiana. A state trooper was shot during a police chase. The suspect is dead. This happened this morning near Michigan City, and we'll put up the map to show you where we're talking about. It began when police spotted a stolen truck on I-94. The driver got off the interstate onto the highway onto US 421 there, then crashed into the trooper's car. That's when the driver started shooting and, according to police, hit the trooper several times before driving off again. The suspect's body was found hours ago during a manhunt. He'd been shot. Now, at this point, authorities have not said whether he shot himself or was shot by police. The trooper survived. At last check, it was in stable condition.
Also in the courtroom today, the man charged with killing Elwood police officer Noah Chavez. Carl Boards is now considered competent to stand trial. He's been undergoing treatment at the state mental hospital in Logansport. During his status hearing today, Boards' attorneys objected to the report and its findings. He refuses to speak with his attorneys because he believes they are handpicked by the prosecution. Boards' lawyers argue that that is partially why he is not competent to stand trial. One of his attorneys wants off the case. A hearing next month could decide if Boards gets at least one new attorney. Investigators say Boards fired 36 shots through Officer Chavez's windshield. This happened during a traffic stop in July of 2022. Boards is now facing the death penalty. The jury trial is now scheduled for February of next year.
And another woman faces charges in the case of a Tippecanoe County judge who was shot along with his wife earlier this year. Prosecutors accuse Mindy Metzinger of assisting a criminal and 3 counts of obstruction of justice. According to court documents, one of the suspects in the case, Thomas Moss, made multiple calls to Metzinger from jail. Investigators say it was part of an effort for Moss to get messages to co-defendants in the case, including letters outlining how they plan to testify in their trials. Judge Stephen Meyer and his wife Kim were shot in their Lafayette home back in January. Both survived. We also have an update today on the man accused of stalking Indiana Fever guard Sophie Cunningham. A judge set a pretrial hearing date for 49-year-old Kevin Singh. Court documents say he made graphic and explicit comments and social media posts directed at Cunningham. They say he also hand-delivered a package to Cunningham at Gainbridge Fieldhouse. Singh faces charges of stalking, intimidation, and harassment. He's due in court August 14th.
Today, Indianapolis City County Council President Maggie Lewis announced that she plans to introduce a moratorium on approvals for new data centers in Marion County. She's expected to introduce that amendment at the council's Metropolitan and Economic Development Committee meeting. That's on Monday. The moratorium would temporarily stop approvals, giving city leaders, industry experts, and community stakeholders a chance to fully evaluate the long-term impacts of data centers. Today's announcement comes after months of protests to pause new approvals.
We've seen a lot more moratoriums in communities across the country regarding data centers. Changes are coming for almost 500,000 Hoosiers who rely on Medicaid for their health insurance. Work requirements that were signed into law last year are going to begin to phase in starting January 1st. We talked about this on this weekend's episode of Crossroads Politics.
I think a lot of people already are working those 20 hours a week. But, having to prove it and maybe you work 1 month, but not the next month. It might depend in terms of whether you have, another big issue is this medically frail exemption, and they're waiting for guidance from the federal government. There are lots of people with chronic diseases who have concerns about how they're going to reach
So there
that.
seems to be some sort of a gray area there with the medically frail.
Yeah.
We also talked about proposed changes to the state's child care system and much more. You can watch Crossroads Politics Sunday morning at 10 or on demand anytime on our WTHR streaming app.
Okay, it's Friday, everybody. And
We made it.
Yes, we did make it. I appreciate your cheers. Thank you. Thank you. I'll finish my sentence. It's Friday, everybody.
There you go.
It's hot and humid, you all, and we're preparing for the weekend.
We are. Chance of showers and storms, though, huh?
Yeah,
Rob?
I think the chance is going to be there this evening, and unfortunately, this is going to impact the first half of your weekend. So if you have plans on Saturday, I don't think it's going to rain the entire day, but I certainly think during some point in the day, you're probably going to see some rain. Sunday's going to be the better day, though. So let's get you through this evening and maybe into the early part of tomorrow and show you where we are. We're currently sitting at 86 at the airport, but there are some mid to upper 80s out there. Overall, most of the metro has been dry for today. We do see a couple of showers that are popping up here a little closer to, say, Madison County, but then farther to the north we go. And this is where we have seen some pretty slow-moving storms during the day. In fact, Howard County earlier had a storm that just sat there and really dumped a lot of rain in a short amount of time. These are slow-moving, but they are drifting. In fact, they're drifting a little farther to the south, so I think that maybe the northern part of the viewing area of, I should say, the metro could get in on some of those scattered showers yet again as we get through the rest of this evening. And I do have rain chances in the forecast through this evening. As far as what to expect, well, the next few hours We'll see the temperatures move from the 80s back into the 70s by 9 p.m. That chance for scattered thunderstorms will stay in the forecast, and it will even stay in the forecast during the overnight. Temperatures not expected to cool down very much during the overnight. We'll call it 72, but expect scattered thunderstorms, so you may hear a rumble of thunder overnight. And then unfortunately, we pick this back up tomorrow with, yes, more chances for more scattered showers and more chances for storms. Temperatures should be about where they are today for tomorrow, mid-80s or so with that chance. Again, I know there's a lot of icons on here that look like it's going to rain the entire day, but the chances are certainly high that somewhere in the area we'll see some scattered showers at any point during the day. I'll show you that in Future Track. It'll really illustrate that. I'll have it for you coming up in just a few minutes.
Okay, Rob, looking forward to it. The Pacers back in action today. They're playing their first game of the NBA Summer League.
And it's all happening in Las Vegas today through July 19th. So during that time, the Pacers will play 4 nationally televised games. Today, they face the Cavaliers.
And this is going to be the first time we see former Purdue star Braden Smith playing for the team. Looking forward to that. For the full NBA Summer League lineup, you can head to our website. We've got it for you at WTHR.com.
All right, our news continues this Friday. A family in mourning, looking for answers. After the break, we're hearing from the family of Nolan Smith. He was that young man out of Mississippi who went on a boating trip with friends for the 4th of July and never came home.